Welcome to MudBots. If you're watching this, you're probably getting pretty far down that rabbit hole. You know, this is exciting stuff. This is exciting technology. We've been doing this for some time now. So we took our first printer to World of Concrete a couple years ago. Went to the second World of Concrete. Met and talked to a lot of different people. And even before that, we were years in preparation, research and development, in getting to the point where you could actually take a product to market. Our parent company, USA Robotics, we build robots, we automate factories. So this was a product that we knew was going to change the world. We got very excited very quickly. And we knew that there was a need for it, that people around the world suffered from affordable housing issues, governments, affordable housing, building departments, economic development. It's you know, it's something that's needed, and it does everything that we say it will do. So the pent-up interest in 3D concrete printing is just palpable. The people that we speak to every single day on the phone, all day long, they see the marketability of this. They recognize that they have this printer, nobody competes with them. They can't compete in price, they can't compete in time, and probably the most important, they cannot compete in the type of projects that will be designed by architects that are being pushed to offer something new and different. People are tired of square rooms, square everything. But that's what you get when you're building with block, or if you're building with, you know, straight pieces of wood, you know, 2x4s, 2x6. So it's really difficult to do, you know, oval walls and zipper walls and just all the fascinating, amazing stuff that that the printers can do. We've said many times that if it wasn't faster and it wasn't cheaper, it would still be a product that nobody could do without, because without it, you just won't be able to do the work. And when you can do it at a third the cost, and you can do it in a third the time, it's phenomenal. Anyway, I'm probably saying stuff you already know, because if you're watching this video, you're interested in coming and seeing a demonstration. And I know it's an exciting time for you. People happen onto concrete printing and boom, they want to book a flight and come out here and see it for themselves. They want to see how it works. They're very, very, very excited. And we hate to have to slow people down just a little bit, but 2 years ago when we first started selling, shoot, we were just happy to have people interested and excited to talk to us. We'd spend hours and hours and hours on the phone with people, trying to answer all their questions. And as a result, we started just putting all kinds of rudimentary videos. We don't have fancy green screens and lower thirds and transitions and dual cameras. You know what, when we keep getting the same questions from customers, we grab the video, we go downstairs, and we make a video for them. Grab the camera. So that's what we're kind of doing today. We want to give you a little more information on preparing to come and see us. We want to see you. We want to meet with everyone. However, in the first year, at the end of the year, we went back and looked, okay, because shoot, 85% of the people didn't buy. So we started to go down and make a list of the reasons, because we speak to everybody and we track all the data. Why didn't they buy? And we came across some real obvious stuff. And so in the last year, we've made a lot of changes. And now just the opposite is true. 85% of the people that come here, they buy. And so we feel like what we have done was necessary, and it helps our customers to not waste a trip. It doesn't matter how excited you are if you're not in a position to really utilize what you come to see. we guarantee the printer will do what it's supposed to do. But that doesn't mean that you'll be able to utilize it or that you're in a position to utilize it. So we do live demonstrations every single week, and as a part of that demonstration, I mean, they are seeing, they're printing a wall, they're putting in some electrical and plumbing, they're printing around rebar, they learn how to print with and add rebar during the print. They learn how to finish the wall while they're printing, inside and out, so that when you're done, it looks just like that at the end of the day, okay? Here's the best approach, okay? We don't recommend just buying a ticket and coming out here, and to be honest, we can't meet with people that way. People that come here, they're coming here by appointment. We have our visitation documents that we're going to send out to you that'll help you understand what you need to do to prepare to be able to receive the information that we're going to share with you, so that you can also digest the information that we're sharing. So when we talk about reasons people don't buy, they're not in construction. They're excited, they might be entrepreneurial, they might even have the money, okay? But if your plan is to go back and print homes and dominate an entire market, you need to already be in the business. I'm not saying it's not possible, I'm just saying that we need to prioritize who we're spending our time with. And the reason we need to is because we are educating the entire world. It's not just Utah, it's not just the USA or Canada. We literally are educating the whole world. And so even though someone's excited, if they're not in construction, yeah, that's a difficult one. We can teach how to run a printer, and that's easy. Okay, you send a 3-man print crew here. After you've purchased, you spend 3 weeks with us. We're going to let you print and print and print. In fact, you have to print 15 structures successfully before we'll even let you take the printer, because we need to protect our brand. We need to protect our other customers. The last thing we want you to do is get in front of CNN and have a wall fall down or something because you didn't get the right training. So training is very, very essential in this. Training and ongoing support. So phone numbers are important for support too. We need you to understand construction, processes, costs for different subs. What does flat work cost? What do footing forming cost? What does it cost to have a crew come out and do layout, put pretty lines on your concrete so that the guys know where to build the walls? The framers, drywall, taping, stucco, insulation. If you don't know those costs, if you haven't been in construction long enough and have those costs, the guys that do this, shoot, that stuff's at the top of their head. But if you don't understand that, or you don't have somebody on your team that understands that, then when we start talking about the cost to print, you can't make sense of what we're sharing. To the guys that know, that's the come to Jesus moment. I mean, that is, oh my hell, we are rich. I mean, we're rich. They just can't wait to get going. If you're not in the business, you don't know realty and markets and what products you should actually be coming up with. You don't understand building codes and inspectors and working with engineers and architects. You don't understand what the process of getting a permit for something. So it's, permits, construction management, hiring subs, managing subs, logistics of getting materials on a job site, all of that stuff. I mean, I can teach you how to print. I can't instill into you or teach. I mean, we're not a university for construction management. And so that was the #1 reason that people didn't buy. They believed in the technology. They saw the printer would do what it's supposed to do, but then when they went back home and they started trying to put all the rest of this together, they realized, oh my gosh, I mean, there's a lot to learn. It's not like, hey, I got millions of dollars. I'm just going to hire a superintendent and we're going to start building homes. So that is one of our prerequisites, that you're either a general contractor, and don't get this confused with a landscape contractor, cabinet, plumbing contractor. We want a general contractor. We want somebody that understands all the trades because our printer affects so many of those trades. You need a structural engineer. You need somebody that understands that he is the authority in the state, been licensed by the state, went to school for years, took all the tests. He is the authority in the state for stamping a set of plans and saying, this meets code. Without that, most people are just going to be very, very afraid. Okay? How do we know it's going to pass code or whatever else? The reality is there are no challenges in passing code. But if you're not a structural engineer, you'll be sitting across the table from us. We're going to be talking about this and that. And you can do your tie-ins this way. You're going to run your rebar this way. We're going to do top plates and headers this way. And it's just going to be going over your head. Or if you're in construction but you don't have a structural engineer there, it's conventional construction. It's unconventional. And so even if you are a general contractor but you don't have a structural engineer that is willing to embrace this technology, get behind it, be the first in their market to start sharing it with everyone else, they're the ones that are going to be on the news right alongside of you. So we want you to bring the people to that meeting that are able to look at you across the table and say, hey Todd, quit asking dumb questions. To you, they're not dumb. Oh my God, if I'm going to make a big investment, I want to know that I'm going to get a return on this thing and that I can actually start printing stuff. So, but to the the engineer, shoot, he's like, man, there's 5 ways we could do the header. Oh, plumbing, there's so many ways we can do that and this and that. So they think some of the questions are dumb, but everybody has a different perspective and interest and reservations. And so you need the right team put together before we can let you come here so that when we are talking, we're having an intelligent conversation. So that's a second reason that people don't buy. They're afraid of the building department. They don't understand structural engineering. And even though we answer all their different questions and share everything we can with them, if you're afraid that you're not going to be able to pass code and that you're not going to be building your state, you're not going to buy. Third reason, people are like, I'm going to get a grant, I'm going to apply for this, I'm going to get a loan, I'm going to go try to find a partner. So if your financing is not in place, we need to wait until it is in place and have you come here, because financing is not a small deal. And if you can't get the financing, or you don't understand the industry, you don't understand engineering, it's just, the chances of you actually buying a printer anytime soon is very, very remote. And we hate to do this, but please understand, the whole world is interested in concrete printing. Universities, governments, engineers, architects, contractors, Habitat, Red Cross, military, and on and on and on. It has an application in everything. And so, we have the whole world calling us, primarily because of the phone thing. And we don't mind spending time with people, but we need, it's just, we do this all day long, okay? Every single call is hours. At 5 o'clock, when everyone goes home, the rest of the world's waking up. And then they're on the phone with us, because even though they're in Germany or other places, they can't get a hold of anybody. And so, persistent people are persistent, and that's great. That's a very good quality. But then we spend, from 5 till midnight talking, answering questions, getting people ready to come and visit by helping them prepare and doing the research they need to do so that they can answer so many of the questions that we know are required before they will purchase. Now, people that come here, that starts the clock ticking for us. Okay, we're going to give each customer an incentive to purchase from us, and that incentive starts clicking from the day you get here. And so, and it expires. After about 30 days, the incentive's gone. So what we do is we give you an incentive, and we're diminishing that incentive each day until it's gone. And we have those that are like, I'm sorry, I couldn't get this together, we didn't get the financing in time. Can we still have the incentive? That's not how incentives work. So we hate to say no, but the answer is no. We want you to be prepared when you get here to, write a check. That you have done everything you needed to do and you're ready to write a check and move forward. And part of that requires, in some of the things that we're going to ask you to do, is research our competition. We want you to. Not only research them, we're going to give you a list with 100 questions that we know you should be asking if you could get a hold of them. You'll find that nobody wants to answer these questions because they are monumental to the type of machine we build. We could build it out of steel, we could build it and wrap it with plastic and make it look like an Epson printer. There's a lot of reasons we didn't do this stuff. We could, there's a specific reason why people buy from us. And part of that is outlined in a document we send you. It's called the deal breakers. Okay, happening to ship mix around the world when 70–80% of it's at your local Home Depot. A printer that takes weeks to put together instead of hours like ours. Trying to get support internationally. So it's all outlined in a document we call the deal breakers. And it's a really good first starting point because for most people after they get halfway through this list, they're like, yeah, okay. That just cleared the field for most people. But we're going to give you 100 questions that we need you to go and speak to everyone out there and get their answers. And when you're done, it should be obvious who you want to purchase from. We want you to go visit our competition. It's our very best sales tool. If we can send you, okay? So you recognize when you come here and you see classrooms and you see training and you see multiple printers under construction, when you see parts on the shelf and engineers running all over the place, sales department, customer service department, that's important when you're buying something like this. To a lot of contractors, hell, they might as well be buying a space shuttle. And if you can't get a hold of somebody, it might be scary. But being in the business of automation, we've suffered with this for forever. It's part of our DNA and what we do. Most people don't buy robots if they're afraid of them. They don't think they can run it. They're not going to get the right training. They're not going to get the right support. Those are big issues. And so it's our culture. We know that support, if you can't sell the fact that the support and the training and the service, you don't have a product worth selling. And so it's second nature to us. It's what we know and do. We want you to go out, visit the competition. When you show up in somebody's cousin's backyard where they've built a printer or whatever else, and they're all excited, and they should be. I mean, shoot, they figured out a way to print concrete. But now they got to learn how to run a company. And it's helpful as well that they knew about construction before endeavoring the construction of a printer, because you can make some big mistakes. If you make a printer that traps all the wind, it's going to blow around like a sail, okay? If you build a printer that it ain't blowing around any place, it's just sturdy as heck. Yeah, but it takes a crane to lift every single corner of this thing. It takes weeks to assemble. So we've had a lot of infighting, even here at our company, between those who understand construction and the mentality of that industry and the type of people that are going to be assembling these printers and running these printers. It can't be complicated. You can't feel like you're learning how to run a space shuttle or something. It's a concrete printer and it needs to have a practical application with quick assembly. And so we started and approached this in the right way. We looked at everything out there. We looked what others were doing. We thought it might be important to be able to print basements, or multi-story, or footings. And we're working on new tech now that's just going to blow your mind. It's always going to develop, always going to change. We want to be working with the ones that want to be a part of a family, part of the solution, and help direct the course of this company. They need to be part of the solution,
If they're square hole, square peg, just, I think I said it in another video, you might be 10 years too early, and this probably isn't the right company for you. We are today what we are because of our customers, because they help us. And James, can we do this? Or look what we figured out. Or, you know, in mixes or construction methods, or can we make this faster? Can we do that? It's an exciting time now. The first 3 years, you know, we're developing, spending money, bleeding money to get the product to where it is today. But now we got customers that are excited, anxious, involved, passion like crazy. They're going out there, they're making things happen, and they're helping to improve. So we are excited to spend time with you. I know this isn't what a lot of people are wanting to hear, but it is a process that we need to stick with, because we don't have unlimited time and unlimited resources to just, I mean, we're not a science fair project, you know, we're not a museum. We're here to sell printers. And we need serious, qualified people that can move forward with that printer. They need to be the ones that we're looking at first. So I hope this kind of explains just our position and what we've learned. It's just necessary. Okay, so to recap. Sonia says we got to recap. That was a lot of talking. General contractor, business license already. Been building homes, can show us that they have built homes. They can send a set of blueprints down here. They can send a takeoff for those blueprints that say this is how much the framing was, drywall, stucco, okay, all the numbers, so that we can do a comparison and show you how much time you're going to save and how much money you're going to save. Structural engineer, got to bring a structural engineer with you, somebody that can look at math, talk numbers, talk about construction processes, and somebody, more importantly, that you can look across the table to and he's like, no, absolutely, oh yeah, 8 ways to do that. We need you to have watched all of our videos. We, of course, got to start off with the NDA, non-compete, and just a little bit about the NDA, non-compete. If you have any grand illusions of ever building a printer, getting into concrete pumping, pumps and mixes and batch plants, if you have ideas of creating your own mixes and starting to sell them, geopolymer mixes, basically, if you want to use the printer to print your products, welcome. Any of those other things, we're going to preclude it. So if you want the information and you want to talk to us, that is a requirement that we have. So, yeah, and we realize people will be giving up some rights. However, there is that opportunity of being a franchisee or a master dealer for us, representing the exclusive distribution rights in your state with a very, very handsome profit margin. There's that. And we welcome that. That's where we're spending the majority of our time right now, is setting up master dealers in every single state so that we can be in every trade show every weekend all summer long, so that we have billboards everywhere, so that we're on the news everywhere. And then we're spending the other part of our time primarily with international licensees, people that are looking to have the exclusive distribution and manufacturing rights within their countries. We want to be Kleenex. We want to be everywhere. And the way to do that is to put your company domestically and internationally everywhere, so that people don't have to fly all the way to Utah. Okay? We have people everywhere. And so we built an amazing business model. You get everything. I mean, it's a business in a box. Everything you need to hit the ground running. Now, a lot of people are thinking, I don't want to sell printers. I want to kill my competition. But when they start to see the kind of numbers, and this isn't something where you sell one to a block wall guy. If you sold one to a block wall guy, you just sold 10. Because 3 months from now, nobody can compete with that guy anymore. They don't have a choice. If they don't have the printer, they're out of business. He can do designs they can't do, at a price they can't touch, and faster than anybody would even believe. So when you sell one, you sold 10. So as a master dealer, you set up somebody in this city and that city, all the major cities in your state, and they're doing all the heavy lifting there. They're the ones that are promoting and going to shows and everything else, and you're just, you know, it's a hard 1 to 2 years worth of work, and that's it. It's compounded. So you got a block wall guy in this city, that city, that city, that city, that is then promoting your product. And when any one of those dealers that you've set up sells or signs up somebody in pool or landscape or sheds or underground or homes or additions, you just sold 10. So add up your cities, add up the different industries within every one of those cities, sign up a dealer to promote that product within that industry, give them exclusive rights as well, and see what happens. Okay, it's going to be amazing. So a lot of people, when they come here, are like, hell no, I don't want nobody to know about this. I'm like, dude, how are we going to keep it a secret? I mean, you're going to be on the news for hell's sakes, okay? And the only difference is if you're not a dealer or a master dealer, then you're going to buy a printer because you can't compete without it. But the difference is, MudBots is going to make all the money instead of you getting your percentage of everything sold in your city or state. We digress. Sorry. Okay. Submittals. Each one of the trades. Questionnaire. 100 questions. You need to go get those answered by the competition first. We don't want to hear, it's awesome, it's amazing, you know, but it's, you know, it's a little bit of money. Even though I'm like a third the cost of anybody in the world, it's still a lot of money. And, you know, if you're responsible, you probably want to go kick tires and check out everybody else first. And all we're saying is, we want you to do it too. We just want you to do it first. And when you're done with all of that, and you've seen that, and you've asked the questions and everything, which is our best sales tool, by the time you get here, you're ready to go. All of this as well is a little bit of a vetting process for us. Okay? If you're in the business, if you have the right resources, if you have the right funding, most guys can get that together in a couple weeks. To go do a couple visits, you know, there's 3 or 4 days. Jump on a plane. But the guys that aren't in the industry or the business or whatever else, they are the ones that struggle with this. And they get frustrated and hell sakes, I just want to come out and see this damn printer. I want to give you some money or whatever else. But we've just learned, I know you think that. It's just not likely. And so we're going to focus on the ones that are in a position to move forward. They can represent MudBots. They have the right disposition. And they recognize that opportunity. So for those of you that meet that category, give us a call. Okay, we'll answer, you know, get through our videos. Please don't call us without watching our videos because we answer. I have more videos than every company out there combined by like 4 or 5. So really showing the specifics. So watch those, do the things that we mentioned, request the visitation docs. There's a checklist of what you need to do to help yourself prepare to come. And shoot, we'll spend hours and hours on the phone with you after that. So we look forward to seeing you out here. This is going to be a ride, so welcome.